Good evening, and welcome to the Baseball and Beer Podcast. I'm your host, John Nee, along with the Beer Sherpa, J.R. Richards tonight. We start off with...
Cheers, hello.
Yes, hello, first and foremost. Phillies, with a win tonight in New York, have a chance to wrap up, not the division, but a playoff berth. So the magic number with the Mets is 4 games. We got a big four-game series starting with the Mets.
Do they celebrate tonight?
Yeah, they would do a little something. I think we saw that with the Brewers late. Well, the Brewers won their division.
I say we lock up the division and then break out the champagne.
Break out the
I don't
champagne.
know. Get in the playoffs. We expect to get to the playoffs.
Although they did have supposedly 10 cases of champagne and beer on ice at Brewer Stadium last night.
Let's
And
work out.
pack that up.
Pack that one, put it underneath the plane.
Take it on the road.
Or do you just leave it there and buy champagne in New York?
When they get there.
That's a viable question.
But anyway, we're so we can wrap up a spot tonight, a playoff spot. We would knock the magic number down to 2 games with a win, as it's, as I said, it's 4 over the Mets for the division. So any combination of Phillies wins, Mets losses. So basically, 4-game series. We're looking at a 2-2 split up here, and the Phillies are the NL East champs.
Yeah.
They're still in a it's going to be a dogfight with the Dodgers. It looks like for the final 10. We have a 1-game lead on the Dodgers. We lost a series in Milwaukee, so we were allowed the Brewers to creep a little closer. There are only 3 back. So these final 10 games are going to be very important.
They're important, and the Mets are good.
And the Mets, the Mets, I'm sure the Mets are coming in here, 10 to go.
I think we spoke too soon.
Yeah, they could be thinking sweep and trying to get this within 3 for the East. They still may be thinking the East.
The Mets are not metting, Johnny.
They're not metting. They're playing better than I thought this year. I still think there's a shot, though. Atlanta, they still play Atlanta again, who's 2 games out of a wild card now. And, the Phillies got the Phillies and Mets. Then they get Atlanta for 3. And they got a little tougher schedule than the Braves here. So that could be something to keep an eye on, them 2 teams. Pick your poison there. Mets or Braves. I believe we are on a, if the Phillies come in first place here, and they have the bye, they're going to be in the way it's set up now. They don't reseed. Not everybody knew that. A lot of people get confused with that. So the Phillies would actually, if they had the first seed, they would play the winner of the 4th and 5th seed in the wild card round. Currently, right now, which would be San Diego in 4th, and Arizona and the Mets are tied for 5th and 6th.
Wow.
So pick your poison there, man. I know, Arizona knocked us out last year.
It's not easy.
Atlanta would be a tough foe with their pitching. I think both them teams beat San Diego. I think the Mets Braves, if they get in, and Arizona beat San Diego. So I think we're on a collision course with either the Mets Braves or Arizona, in my opinion. Now, if we were to fall to the 2nd seed, if the Dodgers were to surpass us, then we could be on a collision course with Milwaukee again. Though it's going to be that 6th seed, could be again, could be the Braves, Mets, or Arizona. So I think there's a pretty good chance in that NLDS. After the bye, we're gonna see the Mets or Arizona.
We gotta win some games. Let's win some games.
It's
starting
gonna be
tonight.
fun.
Let's beat up the Mets, man.
Yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
Start with the Mets.
Let's take 4 from the Mets.
Yeah, let's beat
Go
them.
up there and beat their ass.
Beat them.
How ironic would that be
It's a shame
tonight?
about Nola last night. It's too bad.
Yeah, he had a great start.
Finally got a good start from Nola, and we couldn't hit and score. I mean,
Just could not hit
last night.
16 strikeouts, back-to-back games. Something we don't want to see come playoff time.
No.
That's really
enough with the strikeouts.
That's going to be a problem. So what are we hitting here tonight?
We are drinking from Troubles End Brewing in Collegeville this Tudo Pils, an Italian Pilsner, and I found it quite delightful as I was there.
Collegeville, huh?
Yeah, right there in Ridge Pike and Route 29.
Oh, I know this brewery from my days working with Verizon up in
Yeah, you do. And then it used
Foundry Road.
Apparently, it was Appalachian Brewing for about 6 years.
Yes.
And then it's been Troubles End for a couple at least. And I just heard of it. It was on the radar, and I finally kind of checked it off the local bucket list as far as local breweries. And this Pilsner was really nice. They had an IPA that I did not sample, but I bought a 4-pack of an IPA with Mosaic and Citra hops. It was really, really good. I had a brisket Reuben, solid food there. Everybody check out Troubles End Brewing in Collegeville. I approve.
Seems like the place to be.
So it's a damn good Pilsner, and we'll crack another one and probably get with this.
Good little party town right there in Collegeville, too. You got
really
the Track
nice
Tavern right up the street.
It's a nice area,
yeah. Very good place.
I hadn't been there in a while. It's not my usual travels. 422 is not my not my home. So.
on our home way.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Yeah,
Go
again,
Phillies. Let's get a win tonight.
tastes
Let's
pretty solid.
let's muck the Fets and get some wins up there.
So anyway, after the Mets, the Phils are going to come home for 3 with Chicago. They've pretty much fallen out of the race. They're 7 back, so they're done.
I thought that was going to mean something. It is not.
Nah, they're done. And then they'll head down to Washington for 3. So we have some winnable games here, 10 games. I'd like to see the Phils. Personally, I think
win 7 games.
I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't take 3 or 4 from the Mets. Just
right.
I know the Mets are playing good, but just get up there and try to get 3. If not, 2-2, win the East. Come home, maybe 2 or 3 from Chicago, 2 or 3 from Washington.
Win those series.
And see where we're at with LA and Milwaukee. On a good note, the Phillies did win the season series against LA and Milwaukee, so technically we do hold a
4-2
tiebreaker over
5-1 and 4-2. Right?
So that's a plus. So basically, so basically 1 game on the Dodgers is technically, 2. They have to basically beat the Phillies to take that first spot. So I think the Phils are in a decent spot. If they can finish up, 6-4, 7-3, they should get that first seed and
win total. What would that be? About 97?
Well, we're 91 and 61 right now. So you grab another 6,
98 wins.
Yeah, somewhere around 97, 98 wins is where they should come in. And, be nice to see them go for 100. That would require a 9-1 finish.
A few days ago, I was kind of hoping for the 100, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I mean, not impossible.
But just play well for the next week.
Not impossible, but 9-1. So tonight, starting tonight. Ironically enough, we got Taijuan Walker pitching against his own team. How would that be if Taijuan is actually the man that gets the W tonight to put the Phillies back in the playoffs? I'm rooting for him as well. I think
we kind of dismissed him in the last podcast, but I think he, can step up and help us. Like this start, and he's going to get 1 more start.
Possibly 2.
Okay.
Possibly 2 if they decide not to. You don't know with Thompson. He'd be in line to pitch. Geez, 10 left so after tonight, so probably 1 more. I would
guess
say
1
9,
more.
8, 7, 6, 5, and then 4, 3, 2.
Or maybe you'll wrap it up and you throw some other.
I mean,
I don't know. It doesn't seem to be working out with the young guys bringing those.
Nah, he's been it was a bad signing. I mean, he pitched well with the Mets. He just hasn't had success since he's been here.
Yeah.
He won some games last year, but the ERA was brutal. We all know the story. Left off the postseason roster, injured this year. Velocity down, getting hit around, out of the rotation, back in now because unfortunately the Phillies they threw a couple guys out there, Phillips, Allard, Johnson.
Yeah, Allard had a little stretch there, but he's not the answer.
Nobody could nail that spot down.
No.
Fortunately, we will not need a 5th starter in the playoffs, so that will not matter after these next 10 games.
No.
Although he is a good teammate, we do see him on the top step of the dugout every night. Congratulating guys on hits and runs. He's a good guy. The teammates seem to like him. So, he's going to find his way to be probably the mop-up guy out of the bullpen, big lead in the game.
Yeah, because we're not getting Turnbull, right?
Turnbull threw some pitches down in Florida.
Is it even worth bringing him up? You're
probably not. I mean, even
Walker's your guy out of the pen. Then.
Yeah,
you don't really need Turnbull if Walker's going to be that guy.
So. I mean, they have a solid 7. You're going to go with it's going to be your lefties: Alvarado, Banks, and Strom. Your righties are Estevez, Hoffman, and Kirkaren and Ruiz. That's 7 spots right there. If, the 8th spot would be the mop-up guy, Walker. I don't know if the Phillies are going to choose to carry, it's 26-man roster, 13 and 13, or they decide to go with 14 roster players and go 12 in the bullpen. If that's the case, they would have 12 on the pitching staff. They would have 4 starters and 8 in the bullpen.
What do you think? I'm leaning towards more bench than
I'm leaning towards more bench too. And we'll get into that at the end of this, and the reason why I'll tell you, because they're going to have some tough choices on that. So, again, they can lock up a spot tonight, take 2 or 4 out here, and we, you have the NL East. So, with that being said, why don't we start looking ahead to possible matchups? We had mentioned the Phillies, most likely they're going to be in the 1st or 2nd spot. I don't think Milwaukee's going to catch them or them.
I don't think so.
So they're going to have a bye in the first round.
Unless we really play like shit the next week. Yeah. I think we're good. We're in there.
I think we're good as well.
Yeah.
So basically, we're looking at, like I said, I think we're on a collision course with New York, Arizona. San Diego and Milwaukee would be the other.
Who do you want to see?
Other teams.
I don't want to see any of them. San Diego. Let's do the Padres again.
Geez, I just don't.
I don't know. I mean, you know what I mean? Like.
It's a hard time.
Arizona's a good team, and Mets. I don't want to play them. I don't want to play the Mets, John. I don't want to play them.
It's always hard to wish for a team or hope you get a team. I mean, I don't know. I think do they match up well against Arizona? Maybe not with the pitching staff. Do they match up well against the Braves? They lost the season series to them. We didn't see Sale them last 2 series they played. So if the Braves were to
if
sneak
the Braves
in,
don't make it, that's fine with me.
yeah, if the Braves fall out, that'd be nice. The Mets, I mean, I guess they're pitching. It's decent, but that would probably be them or San Diego. I guess would be a team you would want to see. God, I couldn't fathom the thought of the Phillies bats being cold and losing a series 3-2 to the Mets. That would be awful. I mean, if you went in and you lost to Arizona again,
sure. Yeah,
it'd be disappointing, but not as big. I mean, if
what
they
I
lose
was
to the
alluding
Mets,
to when I made that comment a minute
yeah,
ago.
I mean, although
lose to them would be tough.
Although it would be fun to just really take 3 straight from the Mets, and it'll be, they win a wild card round. Their fans are excited. Obviously, they're going to make their way down to our stadium for what would be the first 2 games. Look, people are going to sell their tickets to them. They're going to pay top dollar in the playoffs.
They are.
So the Mets are going to put fans. They're going to put asses in the seats in Citizens Bank Park, as well as I expect some asses up in the seats this weekend in New York with Phillies fans to look to win that.
Maybe not so much tonight, but tomorrow and Saturday and the weekend. It depends.
I think right on through. I think tonight right on through. You're going to
piss off work and go up there, hammer down.
You're going to hear some Phillies chants. So that's the teams we're looking at. San Diego could be dangerous, with their lineup.
Yep,
so I mean,
they can hit.
Hey, it's the playoffs. You know what I mean?
The
pitching's going to be good, most likely. Hitting's going to have to. Phillies hitters are going to have to hit.
Have to hit.
So it is who they get. So
no taking a day off with the bats.
Looking at the roster, like we said, it could be 13 men, 13 pitchers, or it could be 12. I'm thinking probably leaning more towards 12. And with that being said, that would set Topper up with that situation where if Hayes is back, looks like he's going to make his way back. He's starting to.
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
His infections go on. They want to try to get him in a game. The Iron Pig season is going to end this weekend, so they don't have the luxury of 10 more games left there to get Turnbull and to get Hayes into some games. So
I know. Yeah, like I said, Turnbull.
I mean, I'm thinking we're going to have the typical Thompson. We're going to see tonight. Marsh is in left field. Stevenson's in center field. We got a righty on the mound. You're going to see Hayes in left field. You're going to see Rojas in center field when there's a lefty on the mound. I think that's going to go. Sosa's back now. He's going to take
Marsh
a bench.
is pretty much a left fielder now. He's not going to play much center field.
Pretty much.
Anymore.
Stevenson is a nice defensive player out there. We saw that. That game saving catch against the Mets over the fence. And he's got a little bit of a stick. He's hitting 286, so he's holding his own. Sosa's back as a utility infielder. Stubbs obviously is the backup catcher. So that kind of makes that's with them 4 outfielders, and that kind of takes care of your bench, which kind of leaves Wilson and Clemens
on the bench
in limbo, not off the postseason roster,
right?
Unless they decide
Clemens had a couple big hits,
home
runs and stuff. Yeah, big fan of that guy too. Can't forget Cody Clemens.
I mean, it would be if they decide to go 14, then it would come down to probably Wilson or Clemens. Who would you rather keep on the team? I would say most likely Wilson to me.
Because he's right-handed.
Well, he's a right-handed hitter, but they had him at third a couple of games. He booted quite a few balls there.
That's a tough.
He's not the most fleet-footed outfielder.
Right.
Clemens,
he can play left, but
that's about it. He's more built like a DH. Clemens gives you a little more versatility as he could play third, second, first.
Yep.
In a pinch, you could put him in the outfield. They probably wouldn't.
Nope.
They both provide the same amount of power. I believe Wilson has 3 homers. Clemens has 4 since he's been up here.
Okay.
So either way there. I'm okay with either one of them.
It's a good problem to have. We've talked about that before.
Very great problem.
Yeah. Thompson's.
So we'll see what happens from there. What do we got here?
We're drinking a Czech Pils from Warwick Farms in Jameson, PA. This is up in Bucks County. Basically a long drive if you're from Delco.
That's a bit of a drive for us.
It is worth
Delco
it.
Peeps.
This is it's a farm. They grow some of their own hops. Cool outdoor space, cool tasting room with a little wraparound porch, and their beers are outstanding. I think I might have featured the Citra one. I don't remember if I earlier. If I did Warwick, I don't recall. Anyway, this is their Pilsner. We're going a little light tonight.
It doesn't taste bad though.
Yeah, this is good stuff.
Good taste some beer.
This was a lunchtime beer, so I bought the 4-pack. Warwick Farms, definitely worth the drive. If you're doing you're going to Bucks County, you're going to Newtown, you're going to New Hope. Warwick Farms is definitely worth hitting. Or if you're going to like Croydon or like breweries like Neshaminy Creek and Second Sin and Odd Logic, you can kind of combine it with a stop at Warwick Farms. Good beer in Bucks County.
So speaking of
Good beer up, yeah.
New Hope, which is like, well, I believe right across the river from Mooresville is
Well, it's
somewhere in that area. If you took me there to one time,
it's Lambertville. Is across from New Hope, and that's where River Horse used to be, but they moved inland a little bit. Yeah, River Horse. There's a Triumph up in New Hope. I'm not much of a fan of Triumph's beers.
Okay.
Good food, good restaurant, but the beers.
We came across the bridge from Trenton that time into Morrisville, and we stopped at the Vault.
The Vault. Oh yes, we got to feature the Vault of Hops and Clouds. It's a great brewery. Yardley. Yeah, good beer up there. Good beer.
I thought you said like New Hope was right in that vicinity. I'm not familiar with the area, folks.
No, I told my friend Jeff to go to Second Sin's location in Newtown. There's a couple good restaurants up there, and I told him to check it out. People were talking about the food as well. I'm like, I need to go there. Of course, being the beer nerd that I am, I need to get up there and get with some Bucks County beer. Cheers, Johnny.
Cheers.
Actually, yes, traditional German stock right here.
My wife has been bugging me to take a ride up to New Hope. I would like to, if that is on the way, maybe I would have lunch with her at the Vault.
Do the Lahaska. Do the Free Will from Perk, because he has a tasting room in that
Peddler's Village. They got a little thing in Peddler's Village.
And you can plastic cup and walk around and shop. I would just stand outside the shops and drink as the wife goes in the shops. It's kind of how it works.
Not a bad move.
Kind of what you do at Disney and places like that. You know, you shop, I drink. It's a win-win.
Yes, very good at Christmas time too.
Yes.
Peddler's Village with the
Great
lights.
Time it is,
like JR said here,
really,
I have done it 2 or 3 times with the family. I've had some beers in Free Will.
Yep. We've taken my mother-in-law up to Peddler's Village.
Eating luncheon. Is it Bull Finch? Or
yes.
Is that
yes.
sound right?
I think so.
Something
I think you're onto it. I went to a wedding.
Great place anyway.
Yeah.
Peddler's Village and all that, and a couple other places you'd like me to get her to.
No. It's the Cock and Bull.
Cock and Bull, that's it.
Yes.
You got it. Bull and Finch might be up in Boston if I'm.
Yes. God, we're
doing my beers. We're getting off course here a little bit.
We're getting a little confused. All right, we're derailing this podcast. Oh my God.
That happens.
Are we supposed to talk about baseball? I forget.
That's what happens when you're drinking and you hit places. You kind of you mix it up.
They all kind of blend together.
They all do blend together. And speaking of one more place, the wife's trying to get me up to where I used to work in East Norton. I used to drive through Skipback. So the brothers Kirshner, where I know you've been, I have not yet.
Yes.
So another place I'd like to go.
We're going to go to the brothers on the Brandywine in Downingtown. Kirshner Brothers have a beer garden there. And the Manatees have a gig that they have to reschedule for that place, and we'll go there.
So we'll check it out.
And I need to go to North Wales as well. Future podcasts. There's some good beers coming, for sure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so getting back to the Phillies,
Yes.
we'll wrap this up in a couple of minutes for you.
Yes.
We don't want to keep you here all night.
It's getting dark out here, John.
So again, it's looking like we're going to go with it. We're going to have
Actually beautiful out here.
Yeah, great night.
As I was going to say, the weather's been outstanding. Knock on wood again with the knock on wood. No hurricanes, please.
Hopefully it stays like this for a while. So hopefully, Topper and management's going to have a tough decision with their bench players.
It's again a good problem, right?
We know to start. The regular everyday players are there. So another little thing. There's been a lot of talk on the sports radar. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it. So Sanchez has had a great ERA at home this year. There's a lot of talk of would you go with obviously Wheeler as the game 1 starter in the NLDS. Would you go Sanchez game 2?
Yes.
Instead of Nola?
Yes.
That's a tough call.
Again, with Topper in the matchups, you got to look at
and the
that.
analytical part of it. That could be something we see that Nola's start on the road.
Yeah.
And
it's a good. I think it's quite possible.
So that's something to look at. And then another thing we got to keep an eye on over hopefully 2 more starts here. See if he can get his the old velo, as they like to call it, the velocity back up. Suarez has not been really good since he's returned from his injury, and that could be something that's going to that'll dig into the bullpen. If he can only go 5 innings,
he kind of hits a wall in the middle of the game, right?
It seems like he's going about 5 lately.
He's not giving you 6, let alone 7.
No, and we saw it last year. Topper pulled Sanchez, I believe it was in maybe Game 4 last year against Arizona, and he beat up that bullpen, folks. I think we used 7. It might have went extra innings. I forget. It was one of them games Kimbrel blew. They could have won. Yep. But I think he used 6 relievers that game. And that's something we don't want to see. We got to hope that Suarez can get back to giving him at least 6 2/3.
No.
Right now, I would have had him ranked, the first half of the season going into the playoffs as, him or Nola is your number 2. Right now, he's a 4 possibly. If they had someone from the minors they could bring up to even, spell him the last couple games. I mean, I just don't think he's totally healthy right now, and it's kind of showing. So
Probably not.
that might be a situation where you're going to see Suarez 4 innings in a game, and Topper's out there. You don't like the matchups in the fifth, and you're going to go to that bullpen. So
you're going to go to.
That's something to keep an eye on. Strong
and
can give you 2, but
bridging it to the Bullets is a tough to navigate.
What else we got? I want to try one more on these people.
Yeah, we're going to do one of them.
Oh, that's the same one. We already
Same
did
one.
that.
We
You got
already
anything
did that.
different?
No, I don't.
No, we're just going back
Just
to that.
drinking Pilsner.
Just 2 tonight, folks. Just 2
It's
Pilsners.
an early
for you.
happy hour Pilsner thing here. But who comes in if Suarez exits? Is it going to be like a Tanner Banks or a Kirk Aaron?
Yes. You'll so if Suarez is only giving you 4,
who am I forgetting?
5 innings,
Ruiz.
Yeah, you're going to go with the early in a game like that, say the 6th inning. You're going to go to Ruiz. You're going to go to Tanner Banks.
Yeah.
You might even go to Alvarado early in a game.
I'm okay with that.
I can't trust him in the late innings anymore.
Yes.
You're 7th, 8th, and 9th inning guys right now.
Yeah.
That's Strom, Hoffman, Kirkaren, and Estevez. I mean, it's and closing. Look, for me, Estevez is not etched in stone as a closer here.
No.
If you use
Topper
him one
hasn't
night
used him
and you
like
like Hoffman the next night,
I do.
I'm okay with that because Hoffman has shown that he deserves a chance at that. I mean, they can all do it. Look, Strom can close the game,
Strom's
but
he's
more suited for the 6th, 7th, 8th. So, I mean, Kirkaren someday is going to possibly be a closer there, but they're very well set up to be able to do that. I just don't want to see them have to burn these guys. In game 4 for all them innings. I would like to see, Wheeler's going to give you 6 2/3, 7 in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure Sanchez is going to give you 6 1/3, 7 innings. And Nola's going to give you 6 or 7. It's just
managing the bullpen is quite the process.
It's tough. And, again, they're going to have some decisions with the bench.
You got to play to win today.
Win today. Once the playoffs start, obviously.
You can't do some of the stuff like, we don't want to bring this guy in because we have we're playing 7 straight games and we got,
Absolutely. And the last thing I want to touch on tonight come playoff time, or maybe over these last 10 games, is with Baum back now, we have, Topper's got decisions. Does he slide back into the 4 hole, and do you move Castellanos back out of there? Castellanos has been pretty good for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
So there, I think you leave Baum in the 6 or 7, and with Stott between them, maybe.
They could do something like that.
And then if Baum starts to get going, he can move up. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility in the middle of the lineup.
Baum has been a doubles machine this year. I believe he's at up to 47 now. Would have came over with 50 doubles if he wasn't injured for a while there, which is incredible. Still might come over 50 in the next 10 games. The lack of his power. He hit a homer last night, 14. Once he comes and starts hitting 25, 30, but Baum looks like a real solid player.
Yeah,
so.
he'll be
the 4 spot is it's a touchy spot for me with him because of the lack of power. So maybe you leave Castellanos there. Maybe you do go Stott 5, Baum 6. Boy, that's a great.
It is a great lineup. It's a good lineup.
You can get JT down to 7 and Marsh 8th and Rojas 9th and Hayes.
JT's another guy that has to kind of earn his way back up to the middle of the lineup. You know what I mean? Because he's been
hurt for a while.
He's been injured, so
he's starting to come back.
He's got to hit 7th or whatever.
So anyway, folks, we have started tonight. 10 games left. We're hoping to wrap up a playoff spot tonight. Hopefully, before they come home against the Cubs, they wrap up the NL East. And then the final 6 against the Cubs in Washington. We'll just be battling with LA for that top spot. And
let's take the top spot.
I'm
down with the top spot.
Folks want the top spot. I wasn't always a proponent of having a bye. I kind of
want it though.
I mean, my take on this is, and not some people agree with it, some don't. Look, you play 162 games. You play 6 days a week. You're off once a week for 6 months.
Now you're off for 5
or 6 days off.
I know,
it's a tough thing for me, and
help
sometimes
him, like JT,
it could help.
JT.
It could help with injuries. Whether it helps,
JT,
I don't want to see. It could cool a hot team down too. We've seen that with teams in the past. So maybe I don't know who would be the hot team.
I think our pitching's gonna be solid though if we come back after I expect the pitching to be really, really good.
I expect to see some really good pitching in the playoffs this year from Wheeler, all teams involved.
All of them.
Arizona,
all of them. Really? No, it's
the
a good
Phillies,
point.
the Brewers have great pitching. LA suffered a tough blow with Tyler Glasnow, but
LA's
they're still
amazing with what they
still gonna have pitching.
LA's good, man.
LA is good. So anyway, folks, we got 10 left.
Yeah.
Season's
Phillies.
coming to an end. We're moving into the fall here. We're getting ready. So hopefully the Phillies can finish strong, and let's have a long red October.
Yes.
Go Phils.
Cheers. Go Phils. Yeah.
All right. Have a great night.